Hi, beautiful people. Today it is the fourth module of the Release the Spring of Light Within course, premium course. So we are going to get on with that, yeah? But first of all, we want to talk about thought forms. Thought forms are organic energies. They are created by the abundant information coming from the conscious and the subconscious. The conscious is where everything learned, heard, and experienced during this lifetime on Earth is stored. The subconscious is the warehouse for everything the soul went through since its existence. There are two more compartments of the mind need mentioning, the ego and the pineal gland. We are going to learn about them at a later stage. Right now, let us get back to thoughts. In grammatical structure, they are similar to sentences. In every thought, there is a verb and a subject or object as the main stream. Depending on the emotional attachment, usually colorful adjectives and adverbs are added to it. Every thought belongs to a cycle or a train of thought. I would say to the matrix of understanding. There are two types of thought forms, conscious and subconscious. Most earthlings only understand and usually deal with the conscious ones. However, even modern medicine has some kind of comprehension about the subconscious impulses coming from the brain, they say. Since the subconscious is not tangible, it cannot be an active player in modern medicine. That is why it was named sub rather than the higher or similar. On the other hand, even the most gullible spiritual stream calls it the higher self. Again, more about it later. As I mentioned earlier, thoughts are organic energies. It means that they are alive and have the power to change their surroundings. As energies, they have color, smell, sound, taste, and substance, apart from frequency and speed. These are the readable data I would call the knowledge of the thought. Thought transmission and the mind reading uses this phenomena. You have learned that energies are interrelated. When we walk on the street, we interrelate with others who are passing by closely. When we sit next to someone, we exchange energies as somebody and everything is doing. However, nothing happens without reasons. The pull is between similar energies. Therefore, your momentary ruling emotion would be drawn those alike. Sadness, hatred, anger, worry, and fear are slow energies, and they would be drawn to slow energies in others, while the joy, excitement, merriness, and happy existence would attract those with same feeling. Since you are the master of your thoughts, feelings, words, and deeds, slowly but surely, you will learn how to recognize energies and how to manipulate them, especially your own, to make sure that you only pick up what you are looking for. Occasionally happens that we enter a space, forced or otherwise, where the energies are noticeably different from that of ours. Discomfort sets in, and the only thought we would nurture is the idea of escaping from there. Sometimes we get irritated and at other occasions frustrated or even aggressive. The life of a thought form, at the instant of its forming, a thought begins its life. It physically pops out of its owner's head and starts looking for the subject or object mentioned. They look a bit like caption balloons carrying the words behind the energy. I call them sperms, with their little tails looking for a place to settle. A thought's first aim is the subject or object about which it has been created. The stronger the thought is, the better chance it has to reach its destination. However, on the road, there are many obstacles it needs to overcome. The biggest is the cyber matrix from Wi-Fi, mobile phone connections, and all kinds of chips we carry. These are very slow energies, slowly destroying our existence and mess up our communication patterns. It is a very broad subject we will touch upon later. If the thought cannot reach its destination due to running out of energy or being caught somewhere, we'll look for an alternative place to settle. Being an organic energy, it is alive and needs to be fed. Taking the similar energy mass is usually the fastest and safest alternative to finding the place it was originally destined for. It is interesting to observe how a thought eats you when it gets to you. Sometimes it looks impossible to get it out of your mind. While there, it makes alteration to the other thoughts you are nurturing, strengthen those alike, and weakens the opposition. This is a good example of noshing. Note. Let me give you another example. Let's say you have a super strong thought about a person you really desire. We name him Mick. As the strength of a thought comes from the emotion behind it, this particular one will reach Mick. A desire, especially that of sexual nature, is a fire element, conveying high-frequency energy. Therefore, it needs a similar destination to hook into. For the sake of it, Mick is a fiery person with a lot of desire. Even if it is not towards you, the thought you created about him would land there and feed on his high energies and simultaneously nurture his. However, if Mick is not equipped to house the thought, it will look for another subject nearby. Misunderstandings? Sure. Practice. Practice you really need to do at home and make sure you jot all the results down in your journal. Yeah? So, observe people around you. What do they think? Do they say what they think? Apart from being great fun, this exercise is one of the best intuition builder. Ties. We form ties with all the object and subject we come across, see, think of, talk, or hear about. These ties are like threads between energies. The stronger the connection, the thicker the thread is. These ties are seen by earthlings who mastered the craft of clairvoyance. Some animals who still possess the pure instinct would be able to see them too. Unfortunately, most pets do not belong to this category because their natural habitats were changed and they serve the needs of human beings more than coexist with them. These connections are everything, and they are in everything. And they are sometimes hindering and others furthering the life of the earthlings. Ties are only good if they help you with your path and unite for what you desire. Otherwise, they hold you back from learning, experiencing, and evolving. In one word, living. They could prevent you from finding yourself and having your own opinion on matters. A good spiritual understanding would advise you to cut ties with every thought and every organic energy to free yourself and the subject or object concerned. A tie connects at least two things at all times, even though one of them might not be aware of the link formed. It means that if you are longing for someone, you are keeping that person on leash with your thoughts. The strength of the connection depends on the person's spiritual development, whether he is an independent thinker or not. Note, ties are not always easy to recognize, for we give them fancy names and importance. They are dependencies we are anxious to have around or rely upon. The most common ties are family, religion, education, social background, mass media, and all sorts of material objects. I do not mean that you should turn your back on anything mentioned above. However, you are only able to find your identity without the crutches, false security, or an unidentified imaginary power looking over you. To learn how to deal with ties is the biggest quest for earthlings. We need the material to protect and take care of our physical body. We need nurturing from time to time in our lives, as we also need guidance. The mistake is that earthlings put people into compartments and treat them accordingly. The nearest to them generally is the family, the people who are genetically related. However, within the family, every soul has a path to follow, and every one of them has reasons behind choosing that family. Since we do not talk about incarnation any longer, souls come from all over the universe to take on earthly studies. These are all experiences we gain through emotions. Although mass consciousness leads earthlings to a uniformed understanding about family and life in general, earthlings are still individuals and have not arrived to the robot state yet. That is why members of the family are different, despite of the same upbringing and education. We will talk about spiritual connections within the family at a later stage. Now, I only wanted you to see the basic correlations to enable you to look at your relatives as human beings and not as boxes entitled dad, mom, aunt, sister, etc. Because that is what they are first of all. They have a life path to take care of and experiences to collect. I remind you here that being any of the above mentioned family members is not part of the path. They are choices one might take on to ease or hinder life. To be able to handle family situations, you need to look at events from a human being's point of view, rather than as a family member. Do not judge, but learn them, and do not have expectations towards them. Remember, they learn their rules just as you do. The ties I am looking at are mental dependencies. If you want to push your life ahead, you need to get rid of these. Let us do a meditation called Discover Your Ties. As you know, I am just telling you the meditation now. I am not taking a pace what you need to follow the meditation. You listen to it, you remember it, and then you do it on your own pace. That's important. Sit down comfortably with straight back and your feet on the ground. Go through the breathing harmonizing exercise. For this meditation, you need to ground yourself. Imagine that black roots are coming out of your soul and find their ways into the ground. You feel the cool healing energy of the soil. When your roots are established, invite the golden energy of the universe through your crown chakra. It has to be clear and sparkling golden. If it doesn't come at once, be patient and work on it until you see and feel it is in your mind. With an inhale, bring the light down to your heart chakra and release it in front to form a path. Start walking on it. It is a cosmic path suspended in the ether. You see the stars and planets around. You are out there as part of the whole. You remember the yellow brick road leading to Oz. That's the one. As you walk, you see a three-pointed star on the golden path, forming an obstacle. It is light blue in color. Step into it and stay there until you become part of it by absorbing its color. Continue the walk. Observe the space around. Next, on your way, you will see a four-pointed star. This is dark blue in color. Go through the same exercise and continue. The next obstacle will be a dark green five-pointed star. After you see a light green six-pointed, a red seven-pointed, a black eight-pointed, a pink nine-pointed, and the lilac 10-pointed stars. Do the same exercise and continue your way until you arrive to a set of 7 steps going downwards. As you arrive to the bottom of the steps, you will see a great stretch of water. You might consider calling it the sea. Sit down into the warm sand and look at the water. Think about your life, particularly of your emotions. Get into the details and analyze them. Suddenly, you will feel an urge to build a bonfire. Get up and look for wood on the beach. You will find good twigs around the palm trees. Rather gathering them, just collect all and produce a sparkle by rubbing 2 stones or pebbles together. When the fire is burning nicely, gaze into the flame. As you do it, you will see all the people you are tied to and holding you back from your path. They do not do it intentionally, and do not forget that they are tied to you, so they cannot follow their lives either. The connections are symbolized by threads. The thicker they are, the stronger the dependency between the two of you. Burn those ties with the help of the flame. Then you see the freed earthling dancing in the fire. You feel a light and you are happy. Everybody leaves the place. Extinguish the fire with some sand. Start walking up on the steps, feeling the energy of each. When you reach the road, make your way back. Go through each star again, all of which are golden now, and reach the place you started from, yourself. Pull back the golden path, send it back to the universe with thanks, and pull your roots back. Thank Mother Earth to help you and come back to your everyday existence. Note, it is very important that you actually imagine the whole journey as it is written to make it conscious. Note your experiences in the journal. And of course, you can always submit your thoughts if you wish to me, and I would look them through. Let's talk about karma and the cause for incarnation and reincarnation. Places like Earth are good for awakening. They offer different existences due to the needs and connections of the soul. As I mentioned earlier, all our emotions are created by thoughts in the mind and generally run around the physical body. There are conscious and subconscious thoughts mirroring your momentary state of mind. The conscious thoughts come from the physical existence. They are important for they show the evolutionary state of their master. Stronger attachments to the microcosm, that is the comfort zone, family traditions and religions, fixations, relate to a lesser evolutionary state, bearing in mind that the only freedom earthlings have is the freedom of thought. It is natural that enlightenment needs open horizon and flexible way of thinking. None of the religions or fixed philosophies would take you to total enlightenment, for they do not go with the flow and also restrict life. They denounce certain experiences and conceal existing channels between planes. Promises, hopes, easy ways, and mythological backgrounds set back many earthlings, but those in search for true enlightenment would take on the bumpier road of learning and experiencing. Evolution of the mind and soul are the key points to karma and reincarnation, for the state of mind mirrors the evolutionary level of the soul. I am not going to get deeper into evolution here, as every bit of our teachings is about it. Everything in the universe is in constant motion and moves according to the laws of physics. Although they are given different names, metaphysics and quantum physics move on the laws of physics due to the fact that everything is in the universe is energy. Karma is the debris of the interrelations of energy. It is always unsettled pulling power that keeps you back from the path you intend to walk on. Since it belongs to the past, it keeps you there. And if you are not in the present, future is very far away. Karma is alive, for it is not finished. It is still in the energy field of the bearer, forming a dark spot that is visible for seers. The hue of dark and the size of the spot depends on the depth of the karma. For clarification, I divide karma into two groups. Karma rolled over from the earthly life prior to this one. Karma has been created during present existence. The first group is the result of unfinished emotional events, usually related to people from family, relationships, or someone close. It could come from fear, anger, hate, deep sadness as the leftover of human interactions. These unsolved issues put weight on the soul and the earthlings. Following the laws of physics, it is impossible for a heavy soul to break through and leave the magnetic shield of the planet, when at the end of its earthly life, it passes over. Since the emotional distress happens through the physical body, the soul needs one to get rid of the karma. It can only happen through rebirth. The soul with karma, with the help of its guides, finds the best time and place to reincarnate into a family close to the other soul involved in the karma causing the incident. New lives start to get rid of the weight and to evolve to the point when leaving the planet would not run into obstacles. Note, since the 14th of February 1972, only new souls come down to earth. They do not have past lives. Here, soul rolled over karma is out of the question. From this time on, every soul passing over is cleansed of karma and released into the universe free. These actions are helping to speed up the planet and raise its vibration. There are also souls who come down to earth with an assignment or higher purpose. Although they have lived on earth before, they are free of karma, for every time they pass over, the baggage collected during earthly life is taken off the soul. I call them incarnated earthlings. The karma of the second group is much lighter, for it is collected as we live and evolve. Daily cleansing, stock-taking, closure are the best tools to eliminate the slow energy particles, such as this type of karma, from our minds and lives. Note, we do online meditations and exercises to release the rolled over karma twice a year. Pay attention to our newsletter. This type of karma should only be released in the presence of a highly qualified master. Otherwise, it could be quite dangerous. We will not be able to take responsibilities for your private attempt on this field. Release everyday karma, the meditation. Sit down comfortably with our feet on the ground. Although in Far Eastern meditation exercises, it is customary to sit on the floor with your base chakra touching the ground. It is because of the Kundalini energy they work with. Since our meditations are more astral travelings, and we need a different approach. Like with every meditation, we start with breathing to harmonize the chakras. Take deep breaths into the diaphragm slowly and release the air in the same rhythm. By inhaling slowly and down, we take in a good amount of oxygen, and by using the same pace, we send the oxygen to every part of our body through the blood vessels. For the better result, we are not going to be rooted for this meditation. I am here to take care of you on this journey. Don't worry about anything. Invite the golden energy of the universe to enter through your crown chakra and release it at the front through your heart chakra. The golden thread creates a road that is suspended in space. As you start walking on it, you realize that at some point the path ceases but starts up again in a distance. These cuts represent the karma and what it does to your life. With the power of your mind, create a bridge between the two ends and continue walking. Repeat the exercise as many times as needed until finally you arrive at a 13 level steps going downwards. Every step has different colors. Make the first step slowly. Stay on it until you absorb its color and become one with it. Listen to the sound around you. Your guides are talking also to you. Listen to them. They remind you of your unfinished pullbacks. Take notes. Go through the same routine on every step. At the bottom of the steps, you catch sight of a little wooden hut. Step in. Your guides are waiting for you. It's a good time for a conversation with them while they are talking to you about your past. When they leave, thank them for the help and start working on solutions to all the events you have jotted down on the road. Forgive and release. When you have done this, the closure exercise, look around, open the door, step out, and close the door behind you. Make your way back through the steps and the path that is now unbroken. Get back to your everyday existence. Well, take care, people. Have a wonderful day. Be back to you next time with the 5th part of this beautiful premium course. Or the wonders.